What up, Alpha Team? It's DJ AlphaTyler back again with another reaction, and y'all know what it is. We are here, and we are finally dropping some content after a super busy weekend. I didn't drop any reaction content over the past probably 5 days. I've been slowed down before that just because of the notification craze and, trying to figure out what content goes where and when and all that stuff. Well, over the past few days, if you guys missed what I've had going on, you can catch up over on Instagram. It's right there, DJ_AlphaTyler. But while I was away, while I was off of the YouTubes and social media and all that stuff for a few days, my man Skeem gets this impulse, I guess, to drop an album at midnight. He calls it Manic Midnights. It's an EP. He says the whole EP is about 16 minutes long. We're here for it. He tagged me while I was away in Texas. And so, now that I'm back in Kentucky, it's time to sit down and check this thing out. Before we do, I got one thing to ask, a couple of things to ask. If you guys haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button down below to join the Alpha Team. Ding that notification bell so that you can get on the notification squad and always know when we got some new content dropping. Don't forget to like the video right here if you enjoy the reaction, and head over to WeSkeem.com. It's a little bit different. WeSkeem.com to check out the Manic Midnights album. Okay, without further ado, I'm jumping into track 1. Wait, hang on. What is the order that this goes into? I made a mistake right here. All right, track 1 is Run. Let's go.
Started this thing out.
Okay, before he starts rapping, I do just want to talk about the beat for a second, because it hits on that manic theme. It hits on that vibe of, I'm in a manic episode. I'm in a manic mood. I'm in that high on life, on top of the world kind of feeling right there. The beat is really bringing that aesthetic together. I appreciate that. Let's go. Okay, come on.
Started this thing out. It's 7 p.m. I don't really know what I'm gonna do here, but I gotta lay pen to the paper, make them savor this.
Okay, so he's saying started this thing out at 7 p.m. Don't really know what I'm gonna do here. Gonna lay pen to the paper and everything. So he's saying I'm just gonna write. I'm gonna write at 7 p.m. and I think he recorded, mixed the whole album in less than 7 hours, if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
Rap flavor from their savior. I'm the head of the cult, so wait there. Don't get too close, we don't play fair. Weird.
Shout out to the weirdo cult.
Those are welcome, the rest will decay here. It's 7 p.m., song number 1. Everybody gonna say this thing's so fun, but it's just a grab for attention. Manic episode, everybody run.
Just a cry for attention. So he's saying everybody gonna hate on this. They're gonna say he's just trying to get more stuff out there. He's trying to cry for attention. He's just trying to get noticed. He's trying to get y'all looking. Look at me, give me attention, please. Okay, let's go. I kind of like the I guess the EDM vibe that he's kind of moving into. It's not really an EDM vibe, but that darker kind of really overly processed vibe that he's getting into. And a lot of times, if you guys watch like a lot of my criticisms, you'll probably know, when we start overproducing and stuff, that's really when I start to fall on a lot of songs. Skeem goes against that for me. He's one of the few artists that can overproduce and make it sound well when he does it, and I think that's because he's in control of so much of his music. He's not having somebody else take control of the direction that it's hitting, the way that it's coming across, nothing like that. Like that overproduced feel really does work for my man here, and he's using it right here, and it's working well. Sorry, I had my focus off a little bit. I think you guys should be taken care of now. Let's go.
I wonder if by morning I'll give myself some scorning, or maybe they'll be mourning my heart attack. How the better like gory I give to myself to keep pushing harder.
Okay, and we're getting into wonder if I'm going to be regretting this in the morning or what's going to be going on, okay?
As everyone's turning their eyes away farther, staccato, so you know my mind is abrupt, it's so sharp as my flow, but some say that it's stolen. Well, what did you know? When it starts to get full, I will lose all control to the numbness that turns me to know. It's 7 p.m, song number 1. Everybody gonna say this thing's so fun, but it's just a cry for attention, and it gives so everybody run.
I'll be interested too in the songs that follow this. I'll be interested in seeing if he actually like shouts out what time it is in the next couple of songs. So it's 7 p.m. in this one. I know it's important to him that he wrote, recorded, mastered all that in less than 7 hours. I am interested to see if in the next track he's going to talk about what time it is there too.
It's 7 p.m, song number 1. Everybody gonna say this thing's so fun, but it's just a cry for attention, and it gives so everybody run. Nobody's gonna buy this, you'll lose money, you should have been streaming. Drinking a fifth for $1, the bottle's your semen, so get on your knees in the alley.
I like that too. You should have been streaming. You're gonna lose money. Nobody's gonna buy this crap. Well, I bought it, so you wrong.
Just feed your addiction, so take for position while wishing perfection. Deep throat the erection, you pay to yourself when you beg for attention. If money dries up, you'll be dead without reaction. It's 7 p.m, song number 1. Everybody gonna say this thing's so fun, but it's just a cry for attention, and it gives so everybody run.
There are a couple of things in the beat that are manifesting to me too. I mean, at first I'm like, okay, this kind of has like a fun Jack in the Box kind of feel. You know, it's got that kind of lighthearted, that upbeat kind of, you know, running around, really manic feel and everything. And it's kind of got like a Cardi vibe and everything. I hear the darker elements too. Like you hear the chorus back there, you hear the like you know, you can kind of hear the choir that's in the background of the beat. You can hear everything that's kind of coming together to make this beat what it is. It does have a lot more depth than most openers have, I guess, is the point that I'm getting around to. Let's go.
It's 7 p.m, song number 1. Everybody gonna say this thing's so fun, but it's just a cry for attention, and it gives so everybody run.
Also, is dude saying thumb like F-em? Thumb? Alright, so that was track number 1. Run did a fantastic job setting the pace for the album. Really is what it is. He hits a couple of things. I mean, talking about I could have been streaming. I should have been streaming. I would have made more money if I was streaming. Probably. Nobody's gonna buy this. Just saying, you know, get away. This is just a cry for attention. Everybody's gonna criticize what you're doing right here. But he's saying he had a manic episode that night. Decided to write a track. No hate. Hopefully it sets the pace for the album. I could easily see that setting the pace for the album. Moving next into track 2, which is Manic Midnights, which is the title track for the album. And so we move from the opener to the title track. And let's see where we go with this. 3, 2, 1, let's get it. As soon as it opens. Yeah.
On these manic midnights, alcohol sub to these friends. Tell me, do you feel it? I'm a little crazy. Call it energetic, but I'm getting hazy. Sleep, I'm not gonna get a week. I'm already on the freak, of a freak out like every week.
Okay, and so he's talking, if you've never dealt with like a manic episode, I know it won't hit every single person the exact same way, but if you've never really kind of experienced what that's like, he kind of hits on sleepy eyes, talking about like some of those issues that start coming, you know, how you start kind of feeling eyelids heavy and everything like that. I mean, I can relate to that. That may not have been where he was intending to go. I do like how he's kind of keeping that. It's really got that wired sound to it, you know? And so that's what I would say. 2 things. Number 1, it's got the wired sound that kind of amps it up as feeling like a manic episode. You know, the whole album, well, we're 2 tracks in, but so far the album feels like a manic episode. But number 2, we're also kind of hitting that place where we're kind of, you know, going back to something Skeem hasn't done for a minute, because if you look at it, Skeem's last album was Pop Punk Is Dead. It was more pop punk. He had the B-sides that came out, which doesn't really count. But, you know, Skeem really lately has kind of seemed like he's doing more of the hooks, more of the covers, Mad World, you know, going in and doing Angels and Airwaves and stuff like that. Like he's been hitting the more rock. He's been laying off of rap a little bit. And so this is more to the, yo, I can still rap. I'm up, I'm wired. Got these beats. Let's go. We rapping. Just my thoughts.
Come on, brain the critics. Did it in a night, but they say I didn't. Let them watch it live so they hear the spitting. All the ups and downs of the raw cut rhythms. I don't give a fuck, that's a part of the mission. Everything I do is just part of the vision. Sitting here wishing till I made my art a living. So just call me unforgiving. Other people who don't want to see me winning. Drinking on these manic midnights. Alcohol will subdue these friends. Tell me, do you feel it? I'm a little crazy.
You're talking about alcohol would subdue these things. You know, if you guys have listened to Skeem talk a little bit in the past, he's even kind of lectured me for a minute in the past, talking about, you know, you want to stay away from alcohol when you're having depression issues, but it can help with anxiety. Okay.
Call it energetic, but I'm getting hazy. Sleep, I'm not gonna get a week. I'm already on the brink of a freak out like every week. So join me on this manic midnight, and we'll see what I speak. This song was written last, symbolizing a twisted past. Everything backwards, you never asked. You never asked why everything's backwards.
Okay, and I like that too. So he's acknowledging right there. I guess this was the last song that he wrote for the album. So he's talking about this song was written last. He's talking about everything being backward. You never question why everything is backward. Why is everything reversed? We're talking about too. There is really in his lyricism on the album, there's really that sense of euphoria almost that you get when it is midnight and you have one of those manic episodes, because if you've ever been there, you feel on top of the world. You're jumping from topic to topic to topic. You don't care what you're talking about right now. It just matters that you keep talking. You keep going. You know what I mean? Come on.
Well, if you prefer to never endure the traumas like mine that lead to this rhyme, and stay in the plate to fill up a plate with all of this garbage and call it divine, then I'd advise to avoid.
I like that bar right there too about the offering plate. So we're talking about filling up the plate with all of this garbage and call it divine. He's kind of talking about passing around the plate. He's talking about like you pass around the offering plate in church, ask everybody to put money in, but it's garbage. You don't really feel it. It's a smooth double right there.
The ties, the predator eyes, the stare.
Wait, hang on. Did he go into Todd's after that too? Okay, because that fits.
Endure the traumas like mine that lead to this rhyme, and stay in the plate to fill up a plate with all of this garbage and call it divine. Then I'd advise to avoid the ties, the predator eyes that stare at your thighs. But girls and guys are touching no my. It stays in your mind and never subsides. If you
Okay, and I like that too, because we go from the tithes, you know, playing in the offering plate. That's where you pay your tithes and everything like that. So we got the plate coming around. We got that bar on tithes, and then we go into talking about the girls and the guys touching each other. You know, all the stuff, pornography, whatever. That stays in your mind and plays around and everything. So you're thinking about that now.
predator eyes that stare at your thighs. But girls and guys are touching no my. It stays in your mind and never subsides. If you don't get it, then what I am saying is don't get molested, then maybe you won't be invested in staying a blatant arrested and writing these songs of confessions.
Okay, these songs are confessions. So we're going through, I guess, as the title track, my thought for this album is that he's going through kind of talking about some of the things that work on his mind, because he said these songs are confessions. So we're coming through. I like confessions being in there. We're talking about tithes. We're talking about offering plates. We're talking about, you know, that religious theme being in church and everything. But he is confessing what's going on during his manic midnights, what keeps him up, what he thinks about.
Stays in your mind and never subsides. If you don't get it, then what I am saying is don't get molested, then maybe you won't be invested in staying a blatant arrested and writing these songs of confessions. Don't worry, I'm not gonna mention this in all the tracks that are coming up after this. I have
and he's saying I'm not gonna talk about this in the tracks coming up after. Don't worry. We getting this off the chest right now, getting it out there, getting it in the open, and that's that.
If you are free from the awkwardness, I bet it's almost as bad as my story is. The feeling you get when you're hearing it. Poor little you, I am so sorry for sharing it. You're gritting and bearing it. Why would a hero, but meanwhile I barely shit. Drinking on these man.
And he's getting on too. He's getting on kind of the self-confidence piece, talking about you're hearing about him when he's barely shit. He's barely anything. He's barely built a platform, is what he's saying. I'm barely somebody that even needs to be talked about. But you're grinning and bearing and hearing about this and everything. So we're talking about that self-confidence too. We're talking about that confidence kind of when I start questioning myself. You know what I mean? Let's go.
You get when you're hearing it. Poor little you, I am so sorry for sharing it. You're gritting and bearing it. Why would a hero, but meanwhile I barely shit. Drinking on these manic midnights. Alcohol will subdue these vibes. Tell me, do you feel it? I'm a little crazy. Call it energetic, but I'm getting hazy. Sleep, I'm not gonna get a week. I'm already on the brink of a freak out like every week. So join me on this manic midnight, and we'll see what I speak.
I really just want to pause here because I think the beat is going to play out for 30 more seconds. And, you know, in true Skeem fashion, what am I doing? Why am I not wearing the mask? All right, this is the last song. We're going to put on the mask for the rest of it. He took it off. I can put it on.
Drinking on these manic midnights.
Yeah.
Alcohol will subdue these vibes. Tell me, do you feel it? I'm a little crazy. Call it energetic, but I'm getting hazy. Sleep, I'm not gonna get a week. I'm already on the brink of a freak out like every week. So join me on this manic midnight, and we'll see what I speak.
All right. So that was Manic Midnights. That was the title track. And again, you know, he's really setting the tone. Like the first track set the tone, almost telling you to run away, like get out. This one comes in, sets the tone. This is where I'm coming from making the album. This is the mindset I'm making it from, all that. I gotta bounce. I'm recording an interview with Jekyll real quick. Live streaming an interview with Jekyll real quick. Gonna do the interview, so there will be a break. Normally I do one take reactions, y'all know, but there will be a break. And so I'm going to do that. Hopefully you guys checked out the interview. If not, I'll see you on the other side of it. We'll be back to catch the other 4 tracks. This one will hopefully be uploaded tonight. Might premiere tomorrow. I don't know. But we'll be wearing the mask for the rest of it. If Skeem can take the mask off, we can put it on. You know what I'm saying? But that's this. I'm not closing this. I'll be back. Alrighty, now it's time for track number 3, and as promised, we're back from the intermission with the mask on. It's still not appropriately sized for your boy's face, but you know, hey, we make do. My chin keeps popping out, so I guess that's just something that we're gonna have to deal with. Anywho, the third track on Manic Midnights is Weirdo Cult. Alright, and so Weirdo Cult, of course we know, Skeem has been tagging all of his TikTok videos with Weirdo Cult. The Discord's been renamed Weirdo Cult. It is the Weirdo Cult. If you are hanging out, you're one of the weirdos, you're one of the disenfranchised, so on and so forth. Huzzah to the Weirdo Cult. I guess I am a member of that. I'm not sure. Anyway, track number 3, Weirdo Cult. Let's go.
Weirdo Cult. Weirdo Cult.
So there's a little bit of a different direction. So I like with the album so far. We had, of course, Run setting the pace for the album. Then we had Manic Midnights kind of embodying the album. Now we're coming with the Weirdo Cult, and it's a little bit of a different thing because it's got a little bit more of an emphasis on kind of the trappy snares. We're going a little bit more into, I guess, some of the more EDM friendly elements. I'm sure that there will be more on the track than just the beat, because I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, all of these are Wishmaster beats. So I don't think Well, all of these except Run, because I know that Run is not a Wishmaster beat. So all the rest of them are Wishmaster beats. So I don't think that this is an original Skeem beat. So I don't think that he would be bringing, like an original, or an EDM piece that someone else had made. I'm trying. Okay, there we go. We're just gonna have to deal with the chin popping out.
Yeah, I'm out of my mind, but all of my shit's by design. Everything's going just fine, but then I went crossing the line within my own vine. So now intertwined between danger and time, fill up for rhymes, blending my minds. But what's on my mind while I'm running any sanity I'll ever find?
So I do like this version of Skeem, and that's one thing I'll say. Skeem's talked about he's never actually rapped with his real rap voice. Like, he's not about some of the more hip hop elements of music. I do always enjoy when Skeem kind of gets on that that lazy kind of lean back, that swagged out voice, like that roll with it voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do enjoy that personally a lot when he goes into that bag.
So I'll never dine in the halls with the greatest or flawless divines. I'll try not to pine when I find that they left all my greatness behind. Widow coat. Widow coat. Am I misunderstood? I'm thinking I'm pretty good. Recording these tracks with an audience, hearing the raws, but they never should.
Okay, and again, he's going with that misunderstood piece. Again, talking about the Weirdo Cult, even when he did his unmasking the other day, the day after when he did the We Need to Talk video, he's talking about what this mask means. He's talking about it stands for a group of people and kind of a sect of people, a thing that was never available for him. Something, I'm going to turn my gain up a little bit because I'm convinced that this mask is like muffling 90% of me. But he's talking about a thing that was never there for him, like somebody to understand. Is he misunderstood? Sure. Yeah, he's misunderstood. Yeah, there are things, there are elements, but he's doing pretty good. He's found those people. He's made that community of people that kind of pull together. Of course, it's an homage to, the Weirdo Cult, the cult around We Skeem, of people who, don't fit in, don't have that home anywhere else. I'm happy to be a part of that. I love and support what the dude has done, building his community, where his community is at, what his community is and stands for, and all that. And I think this song is really an homage to what that is.
Thinking I'm pretty good. Recording these tracks with an audience, hearing the raws, but they never should. Do this together, we scheme. A family of weirdos, a dream.
See, and there we go. Together we scheme. Family of weirdos, a dream.
So if you aren't on the same team, don't need your approval is what it all means. No, we don't care.
Yeah, and he's saying, doesn't matter if you're not on the same team, if you're not rocking with us, if you're not part of this group, I don't need your approval. What you think doesn't really matter.
Care about all of your accolades. No, it ain't fair to compare us, we're not the same. Knowing I scare you is not going in the frame. Know me, I dare you, the circus freak Friday vain. Many will call it a shame, wondering who is to blame. The freak show is coming, so find a new vein.
Hang on. The fissure was coming, so find a new vein. So the fissure, like in the earth, so find a new vein because it was about to get split apart anyway. Of course, a vein if you're mining some things. Okay, I think that's what he said. Let's see.
Scare you is not going in the frame. Know me, I dare you. The circus freak Friday vain. Many will call it a shame, wondering who is to blame. The freak show is coming, so find a new vein.
I'm still standing by that being what it was, because if not, then it could have said feature. I don't think it said feature though. But again, I mean, we're going into hey, this is what it is. I mean, we're all together. This is the community that he's built. This is the beauty of that community. This is everything that has come together to be what We Skeem's community has become. Skeem is Skeem. Skeem's going to be the figurehead of that community, but Skeem is not, everything that's encompassed by We Skeem. He's saying the community around that is what makes that community.
They say that I'm dreaming, I better wake up. When I open my eyes, oh what a surprise, I'm living it up. They said that I suck, annoying as fuck. Good thing I went empty and lakes, collected the ugliest ducks, together we're stuck.
I like that too. You talk about people saying that he sucks at everything. Good thing he went empty and blanks, shooting blanks, shooting blanks, going across. Good thing I went empty and blanks, collecting the ugliest ducks. Good thing I pulled in those people who didn't have another home. You know what? Because now we bigger, we stronger, we're together, and now this community is there for those people who didn't have that, or so that they can have that thing that he didn't have, that I didn't have, that thing that wasn't there when we were younger, necessarily to be that strength for us or to be that outlet for us. Hey. Come on.
Fervent and mug, so take all your limelight or lemonade's lush. You cannot mess with the dream. More awake than your whole scene. Blink ballot, I'm voting for me. I already made it, you'll see.
Hey, I like that too. More awake than your whole scene. We're talking about that woke community. We getting into some we speak shit right there. Hey, we talking right there about, hey, I'm more awake than your whole woke crowd, okay? Y'all think you know? You don't know? Come on. Yo, this thing's hot as hell, though. Okay, so that was track number 3, Weirdo Cult. Going with the whole album vibe so far, Weirdo Cult is not my favorite song. It's just kind of there. Track number 2 was definitely my favorite out of those so far. Just what, I don't know, Manic Midnight's just really hit me different. Like that was the track that I'm vibing with the most so far. I do like the vibe of this. I mean, thinking about it as a short EP, I like what he did. I like, it's got that tone, it's got that character. Everything almost kind of has like a clock ticking in the background too. Like it's almost a constant reminder there that it's midnight. You know what I mean? And I can appreciate that. I like where he went from with that. Let's see though. Let's go. So number 4 is going to be I'm Afraid of Me. I'm Afraid of Me. Is that not a... Have I not heard this? Hang on. Because I feel like... Nah. Okay. I'm wrong. It's okay. I'm wrong every now and then. Boop, boop. Nope. Didn't take it away. Let's do this. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. There we go. Alright. So, I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to even cut that out. Let's see. Track number 4, I'm Afraid of Me. Let's get it. Bro, my nose itches so bad.
I'm afraid of me. Every time I think about my own thoughts, I see septic relics of my own rot. Say you feel the same, but you've never been insane. You don't wanna see what happens in this brain.
Okay. Again, we're talking about some issues. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about personal issues. Saying I'm insane. You don't want to see what goes on right here. You don't want to see the things that I have to personally deal with. And I feel that.
You feel the same, but you've never been insane. You don't wanna see what happens in this brain. Turn back the clocks of time. Anybody wanna see this walk of mine? Kinda funny, listen, don't just talk this time. Think about position as I plot my crimes. Take a look into my soul, deep dive into an empty hole. I think I lost it long ago to do it, so I'll let it go. Don't worry about it though. We all know this whole thing is just for show. No.
And you talking right there, you talking about all that stuff, what people say, kind of that outside perspective. We know this whole thing's for show. We know that you're just putting on these issues. You're talking about these things. You're talking about these problems and all that. But that ain't really what you're going through. That ain't something that you actually struggle with. You're just trying to put that out there so that you get a little bit more attention. No.
I'm afraid of me. You try to tell me to be scared of you, but you were never prepared, my dude. Not trying to be rude, I'm not in the mood for a flex from a cowardly kitten like you.
Cowardly kitten like you? Okay, so my question is, are we really talking about somebody? Because I feel like in his bag, he's probably thinking about somebody who's thrown these things. Either that or he's thinking about the collective mud flinging that comes. You know, talking about, hey, telling you, you ain't sincere with all this stuff. You ain't really where you talking about. You just bringing all this stuff trying to get some attention. Back that up a little bit.
My dude, not trying to be rude. I'm not in the mood for a flex from a cowardly kitten like you. I'm heartless, it's true. Like encourage you do, but even your friend with no brain would not be so insane to try scaring my friend. So go stay in your lane. I am the villain you try to avoid. I am not willing to ever be toyed. If they knew my thoughts, I'd be unemployed in a cell with 10 guards who are scared of this boy. But go ahead, waving your toy. See what comes after a demon's annoyed.
We're talking about you waving your toy, waving your microphone, waving whatever you are that's getting you on, pushing you out, and everything. Let's see where you stand when the demon's annoyed. Let's see when you hit those real darker spots of me. Let's see how you still standing, how you still feeling, how you still gonna be holding up, waving your toy around and everything. I'm coming with some real shit. I'm coming with some real ability. I can make music. I can mix my shit. I made this album in less than 7 hours. You know, we got some real stuff coming right here. What you gonna be doing? You standing over there waving that thing like you a man, like you got something. Well, come on, flex on me.
I'm afraid of me. I'm afraid of me. I'm afraid of me. I don't have to take too long to see what's going on in my head. This song I'm never gonna play, it's gone. Never gonna play, it's gone. If you think this is it, then you're wrong. I'm a master of filtering. Yawn. They'd rather I go ICP. Horrorcore lyrics, they're so corny.
Okay, when we talking about horrorcore right there, talking about ICP, horrorcore lyrics and everything, they're so corny. Hey, you know, one thing I was thinking about through that next verse starting up is, you know, part of this too is that internal dialogue that he's having with himself. And we've heard Skeem on other tracks kind of having that internal argument with himself before, kind of, you know, really walking through his thought process, what issues he has and everything, like what he's going through, like how many times he questions, doubts himself, all that stuff. And this is kind of an extension of that in a way. But he going through calling them horrorcore lyrics corny and all that. Hey, a lot of people use horrorcore, especially ICP uses horrorcore to kind of build their career off of. Whereas, like, most people who dip into horrorcore, they sit there for a little while, and then they use it to master the flows and everything, and then they move on to making their actual music. He's saying, you know, he's not ICP with the horrorcore lyrics going just dipping corny and all that stuff. Let's go.
Then you're wrong. I'm a master of filtering. Yawn. They'd rather I go ICP. Horrorcore lyrics, they're so corny. When you live in the head of some heresy, it's embarrassing, so they'll never see. I guess that's my story, G. Was it entertaining at least? I'll keep hiding the beast, so where can I feast? I'll stay with my children in peace.
Okay, and he kind of building off of the weirdo cult right there. He's staying with his children in peace. He's saying, you know, I'm gonna stick with the people who appreciate what we're doing and everything. He's saying, you know, ICP's corny. What they're doing is corny. Like that thing where you, I think he posted the other day saying, you know, if his lyrics were a little bit more cringy, he would almost be making what Juggalos were supposed to be making. Yeah, man, like. You ain't really with that fantasy stuff. You talking about some real stuff, but yeah, I mean that vibe, like the community and everything. Come on now.
I'm afraid of me. I'm afraid of me. I'm afraid of me.
like the layering there with those harmonies. And that is one thing I haven't really shouted out in this album to this point, but I really enjoy kind of the harmonic work in this album because, you know, Skeem's kind of taken this one in a different realm, I guess, because it was written so short. You know, he's writing hip-hop. He's writing over some beats maybe he thought about for a little while, had an idea of what he wanted to do or something like that. But he's kind of, yeah, it's the hip-hop vibe, but he's coming around on the hooks, and he's really hitting these hooks, emphasizing a lot of what he's been doing lately. And that was what I was talking about. You know, really lately he's not been in that hip-hop bag too much. And so it's nice to kind of see that blending of what he's been doing with different styles of music, with layering, kind of harmonizing on himself and everything, coming into what he's doing on the hook in these tracks. And it's a beautiful sound when it all comes full circle together. So we got Behind coming up next. Let's go! And I do notice on all these tracks, there's a good 10-15 seconds that Skeem's just letting the beat breathe for a minute at the beginning. Which, not saying that he doesn't normally do that, but I am saying, like, you know, maybe in some of his funnier songs, like that's where he'd be like talking some smack for an intro or something like that. In some of his more serious songs, you know, he would normally be setting a tone. In this album, he is kind of letting them breathe for a minute there. And you know, it just kind of gives you, again, reinforces that feel. This whole album to me has that feel that I'm listening to it at midnight, which I actually am right now. But it's got that midnight feel to it. You know what I mean?
Try to fight all these thoughts of mine. Wave my flag, leave my soul behind.
Okay, and so I'm thinking about like trying to gather your thoughts, trying to get everything together. Wave your flag, so show what you're standing for. Talk, you know, bolster, be up front and all that, but leave your soul behind. So are we kind of getting into maybe a little bit of a sellout vibe? Or are we talking about selling out a little bit maybe?
I don't know what you were thinking when you were there looking at me, not speaking. Thinking of leaking. If I fidget, you're leaving. No flinch could relieve me, but moving uneasy, it helps me feel easy. I know that I'm needy, but demons demean me. It's feed them or feed me.
Okay. And so again, we're getting into kind of some sounds of insecurity and everything. We're talking about those demons being around us and everything. We're talking about either I feed my demons because I'm always going to be second guessing myself. I'm always going to be doubting myself. It's either I feed them or you feed me. Like, give me that attention. Give me that feeling. And I'm going to let this play out a little bit before I dig into this. But the funny thing is, I feel like for such a short album, for an album that he put together so quickly, I feel like a lot of Skeem's real personal thoughts, a lot of his personal kind of struggles and second guessings are really coming to fruition right here in this album, in this work.
Try to fight all these thoughts of mine. Wave my flag, leave my soul behind. I'd like to carry on, but baggage I carry on puts me overweight, but they never check it, they tell me to carry on. Please check it out for my...
I like that too. We got the We got the travel bar, the flying bar right there. Talk about checking the weight and everything, the weight on your shoulders, but also the weight in your bag because, whether it's checking it or a carry on, because at the airport, if it's too heavy, you can't carry the bag on. Okay.
But baggage I carry on puts me overweight, but they never check it, they tell me to carry on.
There's some depth right there because he's talking about the baggage he carries on. So the baggage I carry around with me puts me overweight. I have too much on me. There's too much on my mind. There's too much on my shoulders. But they never check it. They never make me put it under the plane. They just tell me to carry on. They tell me to keep going. They tell me to, move on with my life regardless of all that baggage that's going on. They just tell me to keep going. Okay? Nobody sees the weight that I'm carrying. Nobody appreciates the weight that I'm actually carrying. They just tell me to keep moving.
Please check enough, am I even on? Stuck on the ground, but the saying say I'm looking strong. I guess I should listen then. After all, I'm the crazy friend. But even after all this ends, scratch that, never ends till I close the final lens. I'm never gonna feel your zen, but that's my mental poison. Try to find some bliss and then think about some tragic and reject the joys to avoid a loss of them. Try to find.
I really do love kind of seeing Skeem because Skeem is, and it's fitting. Obviously, the last song on this album, I've not heard it. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But the last song on this album is the one that he decided to do the face reveal on and everything. And it feels extremely fitting to me because this is such a kind of personal story being told throughout this album, kind of really digging into a lot of the personal sides of things that he's talking about.
All these thoughts of mine wave my flag, leave my soul behind.
This album is a manic midnight soundtrack for me because as somebody who occasionally has those nights, at midnight I'm just up. I can't sleep. I can't do anything else. The sounds, even just the beats, not to mention what he's talking about, but even just the beats that he's bringing just sound so true to form for what I personally feel at those times, And so I know it's really personal for him. And I'm sure he'll try to play it off and say, I just made the songs in whatever amount of time. But the feeling of the album is such a real vibe. I can almost put myself into his mind and see kind of where he was that night, running through everything, feeling that weight on his shoulders, like going through all the different thoughts and everything that he was living with that night, So the last track on the album is Late Nights, and that is the one, there is a music video for it. I have not heard this track, and so for me, what happened was I pulled over just to watch, just to see if we were actually getting the face reveal, because I knew it wasn't supposed to happen yet. And so he recorded this video, and I'm excited to see what the song actually sounds like. I have seen the video. I have not listened to the song, but I do want to hear the song because I feel like there is a reason he would have chosen this song. I feel like there is some amount of depth on that. So during a Manic episode, I wrote and recorded a 6-song EP in less than 7 hours. This is one of those 6 songs. Let's go. And I do like how he just kind of, just looked over. Like, it's time to go. Like, we're done with the mask. All the games are aside. Let's have it.
Every night the things are feeling hard, I can't escape the feeling. You and I are always reeling thoughts into our mind, we don't want them stealing.
Well, again, we're talking about those thoughts coming in, those things we don't want to share. We're talking about things that we don't want people taking from us. We're talking about people not taking away from us. But we're also talking about that mind activity. Again, talking about manic midnights. We're talking about how your mind just races and goes crazy, and you can't focus on anything. You can't focus on relaxing. You gotta be doing. You gotta be up and energy. Let's go.
I'm feeling lonely today. I really know that it should be okay. I'm feeling lonely today. I really know that it should be okay. But these thoughts don't go away, go away. I can't stop, go away, go away.
I'm really feeling lonely today. Can't help but feel like it should be okay. These thoughts won't go away. We're talking again, all the people in the world here to listen to what I have to say, here to look at what I have to do. But, I still feel alone. And while I should be okay, while I can tell myself, I realize, you are overreacting to this situation, it still doesn't go away. That's how your mind works. When you need help, when you need those people, when you actually have those issues, it's not just a complaint that I'm crying about trying to get some attention. I actually have these things in here. It doesn't matter how many times I tell myself that it's okay, that everything is fine, that I'm overreacting or I'm exaggerating or something like that. I know that. That doesn't change what I'm having to deal with.
Here we are, you and me, do you see? The nothingness inside me. Here we are, you and me, do you see? The nothingness inside of me. Every night the things are feeling hard, I can't escape the feeling. You and I are always reeling thoughts into our mind, we don't want them stealing. Don't ever try to be the guy, take those who left it all inside. We coincide with bloodshot eyes from times they terminated pride. We can't confine in normal minds, looking to find some matching tides. So when the waves are washing over, we will rise.
And again, I really like the vocal layering that he's bringing in this, because it's adding that extra push to what he's doing right there. Even right there, like the "we will rise." Skeem is so good at putting his songs together. And I do feel like humanizing this song by taking the mask off, having this be the one. No build up, no real pretense, just doing it. I feel like that adds to a ton of the message of this song, because again, we're talking about those real human feelings, those human emotions, everything that you're pulling out of it.
So when the waves are washing over, we will rise instead of sinking in our lives. Sick of sinking in our lives. Here we are, you and me, do you see? The nothingness inside me. Here we are, you and me, do you see? The nothingness inside of me. Every night the things are feeling hard, I can't escape the feeling. You and I are always reeling thoughts into our mind, we don't want them stealing.
So again, we're getting that thought right there of really being alone. You can't understand what's going on. You can't understand, how I'm feeling inside. And just kind of to a certain extent, the subtext that I get is, and I'm also going to push you away from finding some of the things that you could.
Late nights, late nights. Late nights, late nights. Every night the things are feeling hard, I can't escape the feeling. You and I are always always reeling thoughts into our mind, we don't want them stealing. Every night the things are feeling hard, I can't escape the feeling. You and I are always reeling thoughts into our mind, we don't want them stealing.
Nope. Why do I kind of feel like that's a medication discussion too? You know, kind of talking about, you know, when you start getting these thoughts and everything, if you're taking some of the medication that you get sometimes for anxiety, for depression and stuff like that, those will have the adverse effect of taking away some of your memory, and kind of getting into that thing of saying, you know what, sometimes I would rather deal with the pain of all this than to have those things stealing my memories, my thoughts, and who I am as a person. So that's all from the Manic Midnights album. I'm going to take this mask off because it is absolutely stifling, and try to do this without, you know, full on taking my hat off. There's a bunch of hair everywhere. But you know what? A fantastic track, or not track, it's a fantastic album. And where I sit with it is really in saying, you know, I appreciate that it was made quickly, I guess, because it is a more unfiltered Skeem. He did a fantastic job with the vocal layering, with his effects, with all that stuff. But the thing is, you know, it's him less filtered, him less reserved about talking about how he feels about things. And he's really giving a genuine insight into who he is, where he is, what he is meaning to stand for, what his community stands for, what he feels inside. And, you know, I think it was the perfect place to take off the mask. Literally, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I mean, there's just so much sweat and perspiration inside here. It's probably able to drip, but that's disgusting. What I was going to talk about, though, I mean, I know Skeem talked about the mask and what the mask stands for to him. And you know, real talk, you know, I know Skeem and I are similar ages. Like, I don't have role models anymore, I guess. I don't look up to people, but I do appreciate him. I appreciate the guy, you know, the conversations that I've had, even the insight into his mind in this album. I truly appreciate kind of where he stands, what he has committed himself to putting together, because a lot of people are going to see, you know, that Skeem is about, you know, pay me to do things and all that, and there's nothing wrong with that. You have to put food on your family's plate, but I love and appreciate most about Skeem what he has done to build a community for people who maybe don't have a home, don't have that community, don't have that sense of belonging or that feeling of, you know, who am I? What do I belong to? Who cares about what I'm going through? And the thing is, if you've ever been the kid who's struggled to kind of find that place of belonging, you know, something like this and what this stands for and what this community means becomes so much more important. And, you know, a lot of people right now are really, you know, going wild over he's so handsome or X, Y, and Z. But, you know, the thing is, and you know, I had this conversation a while back. The thing is, the guy underneath the mask has shined through to me as long as I've known him, as a beautiful person. And I don't care what the guy looks like underneath. Is it cool that maybe next time he jumps on one of my streams, maybe there'll be a face when he talks? Sure. Like, is it cool to drop in and watch him play Call of Duty and actually see his face like any other YouTuber? Yeah, it's fantastic. And I'm glad he got a chance to get that out. Because, you know what? People do deserve to know who that source is. But the thing is, what he built, what the mask represented, what he decided, you know, to unveil and everything, all of that is to the same person whether he's wearing the mask or not. And I appreciate the dude. I support him 100%. I love this album here, and I think because it was made in such a short time, it is a little bit more vulnerable than a lot of his things might be necessarily otherwise. Not, you know, in telling his story and stuff like that, but in really giving that insight to where his mind's at right now, what he's thinking about. And I can understand, you know, how this led up to let's take the mask off. Let's be done with it. Let's live life. And I appreciate him and I applaud him for that. Especially too, not knowing how many people are going to stick around after you do that. It was a big change. But that was Manic Midnights. I would say if I had to pick a song from it behind, probably for Message, is my favorite track on the album. 100%. I think Behind is probably the one that resonates the most to me. Just kind of listening through, and I may be completely wrong on the interpretation. That's fine if I am, but it's a lovely album. If you guys haven't purchased it, it is available at WeSkeem.com. Make sure that you guys go buy it. Fantastic album, along with everything else that the dude has made. I really enjoyed it. Appreciate you guys watching this reaction. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Link will be in the description, probably to WeSkeem's channel. Make sure that you head over there, like, share, and subscribe as well if you haven't checked him out before. But that's all I got. I'm DJ AlphaTyler, and I'll catch you guys next time. Huzzah!
Right, cause the managers won't take their balls. Grab your balls, you a grown-ass man. Whining and crying like it's a party you're playing, can understand. Yeah, you repping that you go hard, rapping with no bars. Reckon you a joke, only ripping off the real stars. I got the diabolic rhyme, and you know we're gonna have one hell of a time. Stick a sip of the shine, common sense in your mind. Been on the sideline watching, aging like a fine wine inferno in your mind, like Dante in the 9-9.